Old Trafford is the stage for Ryan these days. For George, a chance to meet old friends.
Are you right? I'm alright. Enjoyed that. It was nice today.
Oh, yeah, the terrible one.
We might hear somewhat. See you, man.
See you later. See you later. Alright.
Alright, love. Thanks.
Hello, Mr.
Hello,
my darling. I've seen you somewhere before.
Like yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Alright.
Mwah.
Okay, alright. Boss! How are you? We were just talking about you. We just been talking. Said nice things.
You said nice things.
Of course,
That's good.
Do the lads eat here now?
Yeah, yeah.
We used to go to a local golf club. Go there about 12 o'clock. Have a light meal.
Yeah.
A couple of games of snooker, and then head back here. Get back here about 2 for the games. And then I used to downstairs. I used to have a little coffee bar. I used to stand there with my pals until about 2:45.
Did you?
And the boss used to come looking for me. 2:45. Where is he? Where is he? Come in, just gear on, sling it on, and go out there.
Yeah.
I mean, in those days there was no warm-ups.
No.
I mean, you went on the pitch 5 minutes before the game, and you had a couple of shots, and that was it.
Medium well.
Please.
Cheers.
They'll always say, though, that it's rose-coloured spectacles. They were better players then, and I mean, is it or were they better players, better teams around?
Well, again, I don't like comparison stuff. But I've always believed that great players could play at any period of time. And I mean, people ask me, would I fit in today? Could I play today? I think I could because I always played a free role. I wouldn't change. That's the way I'd do it. Still.
What about this 60s thing? I mean, it was rammed down your throats, or has been for so long, hasn't it? Especially when you missed out on the title 2 years ago, didn't you? Did that get to you when they were saying, "Oh, you've not won it for 25 years" or 20 years?
Yeah, I don't think it helped. It just added to the pressure, really. Whereas people should be encouraging you. You know, you do it next year. Whereas they were just saying, "Oh, they've done it again. They've not won it again." I think us winning it last year's just the pressure's just gone now.
Do you know anything,
football more?
Do you know anything about these 60s players, George and Dennis? Or, I mean, I know you know about them. Have you seen any of them, or from that era?
Just on videos, yeah. I like watching football videos. You know, the old teams and that.
What does Brian Kidd say to you when he's?
Well, Kiddo gives me videos of goals he used to score and all that.
Must be a short video.
No, but Kiddo gives me like videos of centre forwards, you know, saying, you know, you should be doing that, you should be doing this. So, which is good, like, because I think by watching the football videos you can learn things.
Who do you study? You study this man?
Yeah. Mainly, you know, centre forwards and wingers, just with the finishing, really. I think I've got to add that to my game, really, and get that over with, and then be okay.
I think it's a great way of doing it as well. If you know, because I used to do the same thing. Obviously, there weren't that many videos around, but going to watch great players as well, and seeing when you see, you know, an artist at work. I mean, I used to love it when I was a kid when I first came here. Real Madrid were the great side. I mean, that's unbelievable players, and to watch them here. I used to watch people like Puskas and Hinto, Di Stefano, kicking in, the things they were doing. Kicking in. I was a 15-year-old kid from Belfast, seeing these players, and I remember Puskas doing something, and I thought I've got to learn to do that. And he hit a ball and made it spin back to him, and I'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
And of course, the next morning I went out and I was trying it, and that's the same thing. If you've seen people in the same way heading, because I was small, you know, so and I decided to improve my heading. And when you watch players, great players, you know. Dennis was brilliant in the air. And see, you have to, you know, so when you see great players like that, you tend to sort of mimic them and try and improve you, which is the way it should be.
Who were your heroes? Di Stefano, I know, was a big hero of yours.
Yeah.
Who domestically? Anybody you?
Well, the greatest finisher I've ever seen. Well, two. I played with one. who's now a great pal, and that's Dennis. He was spectacular, but I suppose the greatest finisher and the number of goals was Jimmy Greaves. I mean, he really was. It was like an art form when Greaves scored. Some of the, I mean, people think he was all tap-ins, 5-6 yards, but he scored a goal here one year. And he picked it up in his own half and beat about 6 players and rounded the kit, and it was just, I can still see him drifting past people. He was brilliant. Yeah. But Di Stefano was the most complete I ever saw. And Pele, I was fortunate enough to play with and against him. And he was pure magic. He really was. But I think all round Di Stefano was a mess.
All right, you, Ryan. Who are your heroes? You play with most of yours, don't you?
I play with Rushy and Sparky, my heroes.
2 different players.
Yeah. When I was young, when I was living in Wales, they were like the main people, Rushy and Sparker, because I supported United, Mark Hughes really, but also Ian Rush, the way he finished, scored the goals.
Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he?
And to play with him was just brilliant.
Similar sort of situation, isn't it, really? I mean, because Ryan's got in the team so young, as I did, you end up playing with people, you've only read about and watched in awe, and all of a sudden, 17, you're playing alongside them.
What is it like, that sensation of actually either running out at Old Trafford or scoring a goal at Old Trafford, or being able to do things that other players can't do at Old Trafford? It must be an incredible feeling.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I can remember yesterday, as I was walking out the tunnel and looking up at the crowd, you can't really beat it. And scoring in front of them, there's no better feeling. No better feeling.
You're scoring, I suppose, in front of your friends as well, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I suppose that's why you say sometimes when footballers do finish, it's hard to replace that, isn't it?
And it's almost impossible to replace. Giggley says you can't describe the feeling. I tried once to talk about my first game coming out, and there were 54,000 here, and we played West Brom, and I was 17, just past my 17th birthday, and it was in those days the tunnel was the halfway line, and you sort of at the top, and I used to like to come out sort of halfway down the lineup. And of course, when they see the first player, the fans on the opposite side see you, and they start, and it just gets louder. And trying to describe it, it's like sitting in front of a radio with a roar and just turning it louder and louder. And by the time you get to the place is just, it's deafening.
What's happening to you inside? What's going on? Were you the nervous type? You must have had butterflies then.
I never had, ever. And yet other players, different players handle it differently. I don't know what Ryan's like before the game, but I used to sit down and read the match programme or a paper, whatever, and go and have a cup of tea with my pals and go in 10 minutes before the kick-off and get changed. Other players were actually ill before the game because they were so uptight about it. They used to go in and be actually violently sick before they went out.
I think the good thing is as well, me and George, we entered the team at a young age, whereas some players who come from other clubs halfway through their career get overawed by the field. They played at lesser clubs, whereas we've been brought up in the surroundings of Old Trafford. That's why I always thought, I was playing here when I was in the youth team, and then when you go into the first team, it's just the same feeling, really.
George was saying before that what he finds, or he'd think going to bed at night, I'm going to try this, or I'm going to not so much take the mickey, or I'm going to. Is that what you're thinking as well? A sort of place of entertainment, if you like.
Yeah, you don't want the crowd have come along, paid good money, to watch you, so you want to entertain them, and a few trick, and if you're winning, then fair enough, you can try and nutmeg a player, try and throw a few dummies or something, throw a few dummies, but just to get the crowd on your side and back into it, really.
There's nothing better. I mean, there again, because of the similarities and the winning habit, it's great when you can do that. When you're out there and you're playing with confidence and the team are winning, it's lovely to be able to try things like that. I even did it when I played at Fulham with Rodney Morris, and he's the same as me. We used to, we were tackling each other for a bit of to make people laugh.
Too many around, are there, that are that excited to sort of the footballing public like yourself? And
yeah, there's a lot of teams that, you know, that just the winning counts, and it doesn't matter how they went about it. As long as they won, you know, we've won the game, we've got the 3 points. Whereas I think here, United, you know, players like Eric, Lee Sharp, Mark Hughes, they try and entertain the crowd, try a few tricks. If they don't come off, they don't come off. But I think the crowd appreciate, you know, that you're trying to entertain them.
Does Alex Ferguson say entertain, or does he say win?
Well, he's, you know, do it in the right places, but if it comes off, then it's brilliant.
Was Matt like that? So Matt?
Yeah, I mean that's a great point. I mean there are times to do it and times to try it. I mean if you're getting hammered 3-0 by somebody away from home with 5 minutes to do it, you don't start taking the mick out of the opposition. But it's trying to get that blend. If you can get that blend, but entertainment is so important. I mean, Ron said they're paying good money. These are the people that pay your wages, and if you can entertain them and make them laugh and send them away happy, that's what it's all about.